As former Raptors coach Sam Mitchell once said, 0-0-0-0. That seemed like it was the stat line of the Serie A this weekend, and in particular, the stat line of some Juventus players this weekend.
I don't know. It might be your teams. I think my score line for my team.
Okay. Besides your team,
And
Johnny.
it starts, and it begins, guys, and it begins.
The Calcio Guys, Johnny, Adriano, I'm Nicholas, and we got a special guest this week, Luca from just north of us in Laval from All Juve Cast. How's it going, Luca?
Going good, guys. Honored to be here.
We're happy you're on, man. I'm excited for this.
About time, man. It's a long time.
Yeah,
coming.
seriously.
Hey, I'm just waiting for the invite. I had one phone to pick. I'll take it after the podcast, and I'll tell you guys after. But I'm just glad to finally be here. And hey, let's make the most of it.
There you go.
And Luca, before we get into the not so positive stuff about Juve's game this week against Samp, we want to ask you, as we do with all of our guests, how did you become a Juve fan? And also, you're involved with the All Juve Cast, so tell us, how you became involved with them too.
I'll keep it short and sweet because I remember the first time I did this, I dragged it along, and honestly, people don't want to hear all that the nitty gritty bullshit. So the reality is, just like a lot of things in life, a lot of hobbies and things are passed on. I became a Juventus fan because of my brother. Growing up, I had no idea who they were. I just saw the logo in his room with the Del Piero picture, and shit. Next thing you know, I'm watching them too. As time goes on, you learn to enjoy the sport more, whether you're playing it as a kid or just watching it. As time went on, I grew to enjoy it more, to analyze it more, whether that was on the field myself or watching it as a sport. And once you get dived into this community, you guys know once you get sucked in, you get sucked in. So similar as you guys invited me tonight, one day, I got a call from Alberto and started off with them. It's almost 2 years now. And somehow I'm still there. Don't ask me how. It's a great group. We bust each other's balls all the time. We all love each other. And just like you guys, I'm sure, it's a family at one point. So, I try to get along with them, try to get along with everybody else in the community. And shit, here we are now.
Yeah, and I've been invited as a guest once on the All Juve Cast pod with Bertz and everybody. They're honestly a great group. I was kind of stumped because he had me go face to face with Omar on Juve Napoli trivia, and I got my ass kicked.
Yeah, no. Omar is a good man of high IQ, especially with Juventus IQ, and just Serie A knowledge. The guy is ridiculously good.
I think not only, we can jab all we want, we can poke fun all we want, but you guys have a good group out there. If it's been Alberto or whoever else from your part, our boy Daniel Lucci as well, right, is part of your crew there. And you've always shown love our way. We have to show it back. And, just a great group of guys. Covering the wrong team, but hey, you guys do good content, so we appreciate what you guys do for the community, I guess.
We try our best. And honestly, guys, like I said, it's an honor to be here. Again, this community, whether you're supporting one team or another, I'm a firm believer that the sport comes before everything else. So I'm glad that I get along at least with you guys and a lot of other people. So I'm glad we could do this. I'm glad we could, make fun, mess around, and in the end, hey. Just because my team is doing worse than somebody else's does not mean I have a personal grudge against you. I might tell you otherwise, but hey, not in front of the camera, that's for sure.
No, it's good because it's nice to especially if you're a local, it's nice to have like sometimes to showcase local talent or local, I guess, for lack of a better term, personalities. Because there are, some people have great takes. They don't get the attention they deserve compared to some people who have horrible, terrible takes, and it's like they get a bunch of follows and a bunch of likes or interactions, and it kind of gets annoying. But I'll be the one to kind of crap on the mood a bit, and I don't mean this in a mean way. Let's get your thoughts. We'll also get Nick involved too. But what are your thoughts and feelings about the Sampdoria-Juve game this past weekend?
Nick, this is your pod, man. You go first.
Oh boy. I mean, what I have to say is what I've said on this podcast many times before. It's okay. I'm not gonna call for Allegri's head 2 games into the season, but it's just been the same thing all season. From last season, and back in 2018, 2019. It's just there's no creativity. There's no there's nothing new, and you could tell without Di Maria. He changed the game last week, right, against Sassuolo. You could tell he changed the game. He was that player that Vlahovic needed. Already lose him to injury, and suddenly it's old Juve again, where it's just passed back and forth. Okay, the midfield's a bit better than in the past. They had some good midfielders playing. Moretti came in. Maybe he should have started. Maybe he was fine coming off the bench, but he looked great. But the problem was just playing out the back, and it's clear. It's clear the way to beat Juventus, or at least not let them score, is just sitting back, parking the bus, and that's exactly what Sampdoria did. And Juve just didn't have the talent to pass out from the back, especially between Rugani and Bremer. Obviously, Bremer is a fantastic defender, but he didn't come in to make passes. The only defender who could really do that is Bonucci, Danilo too, but Danilo is playing more as a fullback. He would be better off playing as a center back. Quadrado wasn't that good. Even Kostic, first half, he wasn't that good. He improved in the second half. They obviously had a couple chances. Quadrado shot it right into the goalie when he should have passed it to Vlahovic. Kostic had his shots stopped. It was just very frustrating, just typical all of last season. And that's what we didn't want to see. And I know it's only a second game, so I'm not freaking out too much. But big game this weekend against Roma. So if it's more the same against Roma, I'm not gonna press the panic button just yet. But these injuries, okay, Di Maria, it's not long-term, but Chiesa's long-term, Pogba's long-term. Allegri's going to have to deal with it. Yes, they're going to be back hopefully next year, but we can't wait until then. What do you think, Luca?
I think you covered it pretty well. I mean, I'm not going to repeat things you said, but the game itself, although I only watched highlights of last week's game, I heard it was a relatively good game and night and day compared to this week's game. Generally, like you said, nothing has improved. Nothing. I watch this game and I automatically want to either break my head to the wall or stick a nail in my toe, because the reality is it's the same pain that we went through last year, and nothing's improved, especially when our expensive coach has demanded specific players to be brought in, and either these players are injured or they're just not being used well, or excuse number X, Y, Z. There's always something. So I'm getting tired of the excuses. I'm getting tired of the absolute atrocious style of play, the lack of intensity. There's so much from this team that I dislike. Would I say that I improved throughout the game? Yeah, I got a little bit better. Would I have changed the starting lineup? Maybe one or two players. Would that have changed the overall game? I highly doubt it. I think it was a cohesive issue, not just one or two guys. As much as I want to dump on half of the team, I won't, because it was majority of the team. There wasn't anybody that really stood out to being perfect. So shit. I mean, yeah, we got a big game on Saturday. I hope to God it gets a little bit better, or something is different, because if not, Johnny's going to make absolute fun of us for a good couple weeks, and I don't want to hear it, because right now I'm almost certain Roma's the better team right now, and I'm worried. But that all said, it was a rough game to watch, and I certainly hope it doesn't continue this way.
I mean, if Roma can learn how to actually capitalize on their chances, then sure, I can say that. But Juve actually has a chance, because right now the goal sources for Roma have been coming from unlikely places. But I'll get to that a little bit later, I guess, whenever the topic comes up. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one this weekend, Roma Juve.
Well, Luca, just a quick question. I think we got it even to one of the social media questions, actually, and from our boy Calcio Talk on Instagram. I think a big, obviously the big acquisition of Vlahovic will obviously turn a lot of heads. There's going to be a focal point of this attack, this and that. The biggest problem, and again, you guys can speak to it better than I can. Looking from the outside in. Getting him the ball, getting him like balls in dangerous areas, feeding Vlahovic. He hasn't really found that service consistently in his time at Juventus. With the guys that Nick mentioned earlier, the Di Marias, the Chiesas, the Pogbas, without having those players, how do you see, or where do you think this service can come from? Because we all know you have a deadly striker in Vlahovic. He's up there. He's going to get his goals. It's a matter of finding him in dangerous areas, and not just putting him up on an island up top in your attack. Where do you see this creativity coming from? If there is any hope for creativity elsewhere, what are your thoughts on that?
Nick, you want to go first?
Where will it come from? I hope Kostic. I hope
so too for my Fanta.
Yeah. Again, he's what I've seen so far. He's obviously a good playmaker. He's good at passing, but he's not a game changer, and we knew that about Kostic coming in. He's no Chiesa. He's no Di Maria. He's gonna make passes. Hopefully, he's better than Cuadrado, because I've already seen, last season, maybe second half already, 2 games this season, Cuadrado, he's really losing it. I can see where Daniel Lucci's coming from now. Last year I was really defending. You could check out some old Twitter threads, but he's losing it. He's 33 years old, I think. So we'll see. Unfortunately, Vlahovic isn't the type to create on his own either. He really needs a service. So it's really tough. I really do think, obviously Allegri's game plan, you could tell it's clear that all they want to do is just cross it into Vlahovic and hope for the best. But you need a bit of creativity, and hopefully Di Maria, he's not out for long. So once he's back, okay, it'll be a bit better. And if we have a time machine and maybe fast forward time and bring Chiesa back or go back in time and prevent the injury, I would love that too. But we don't have that, so. Like I said before, we just have to find ways. What's a solution? Good question. Apparently Milik. Apparently that Milik's a solution, which I doubt. So, what do you think, Luca?
Look, there's no direct answer to this. I mean, depending how you line up your team and how you move the ball within that squad, whatever the starting 11 is. The play can start from your goalkeeper. I don't care if Perin or Szczesny is sending the ball to Vlahovic and he's putting it in the back of the net. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as the ball gets to him, and that is the majority of the issue. So, look, Kostic, you covered it. I'll touch on it. I think he is a hardworking but very straightforward player, which in Germany probably worked great for him. But right now in Serie A, he'll have to evolve a little bit, because if all he's doing is just putting that ball up in the air, it's not terrible. He's got a great cross. It's effective. It gets to its target, but he's got to be able to take on his man a little bit better. He's also got to come inside a little bit more. And unless Max is telling him to do otherwise, I like him. I like his effort. I like his quality. It's not going to be flamboyant like Cuadrado, which is fine because I don't fucking want that. But Kostic just Kostic. I don't think he's going to be that guy. He's going to help on that left side. He's going to help get that ball in the box when it's coming down his left side. What I really think this squad needs is that connection between your front 3, your front 2, whatever, how many front guys there are, and the midfield. I mean, there's disconnection all over the field after watching this game, but you're missing that Di Maria, or last season you had Dybala, or you had years back, you had guys you had Pogba or Vidal who are more forward. You need that, I'm going to say that 10, the guy behind the forward line who could break lines, who could do a little bit more flexibility, who doesn't just stay in one spot and wait for the ball. He's got to be able to move around and create stuff. Did we have that against Sampdoria? I mean, we could have. Do I think Rabiot's that guy? Hell no. Do I think Locatelli could do that? Maybe. Was he put in that position? No. Do I think McKennie could do that? Possibly. He's not the best at it. But again, was he put in that position? No. So to answer Adriano's question, I mean, service can come from anywhere. I think Max just has to figure out where he thinks the best way to get it is. Because, I mean, hey, depending what formation you're doing, whether it's a 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 3-5-2, whatever it is, you got to find a way to get the ball from your goaler to your defense, to your midfield, to your striker. I don't care if you skip a couple phases, it's got to get there, but it's got to get there with control and with fluidity. If not, what are you doing? Just kick the ball out and hope for the best, which is exactly what he's doing.
Great viewpoint. And one player, though, because this question comes from Calcio with Julian, unless I missed it, but one question he provides was, how do you feel about Meretti's performance? Now, I think it was only short. I think he had 25, 30 minutes of playing time that game. But if you're looking, I mean, right now, if you're looking for an unlikely source for creativity, or maybe somebody to probably change things up or level things up, maybe he might be the answer, because I know you guys hype him up a lot. But in all seriousness, what do you think about his performance in his short little window? And what do you think, how is he going to be used in the future?
I think you're going first.
I love the direction by Luca on the pod. It's amazing.
The plug.
Moretti. Knowing, honestly,
he's young, guys, right? So
he's very young.
Honestly, watching him play, like, I'm not a scout, I'm not a professional tactician out there, but honestly, watching him play, it's really promising, especially the passes he makes, because he sees things that not every player could see. And when you're watching the game, obviously, when you're watching a game, you have a nice view, and you're always pointing at TV, pass here, pass there. But when a player's on the field, he obviously doesn't see the same things. But when a player does see the same things, you see from a camera angle 20, 30 feet, 40 feet up in the air. I don't know how high it is. It's a good sign. And he not only that, you could tell he works hard too, because on the goal that was disallowed, it was his physicality. And you wouldn't expect that because he's small, right? It was his physicality that led to it. Obviously, unfortunately, it was offside. And it was pretty... I don't know about you, Luca, but when I watched it, I was sat still on the. I did not move. I knew it was offside right away, and everyone's celebrating this and that. It took a long time to actually call it offside. Whatever. How is he going to be used in the future? I don't see him starting anytime soon because there are other midfielders ahead, and we know Allegri does go with the veterans, which is fine, especially for a young kid. It's good to just even if he plays maybe 30 minutes a game, then 40 minutes. And then, maybe he starts those like midweek games. Like there's I forget who they're playing. I forget who they're playing on the 31st already. There's already a midweek game. Okay, maybe he starts that one. Just give him playing time. Give him some playing time. Don't give him pressure just yet. We know it's a good young player, a player that Juve hasn't had in a few years. And so, see what could happen. If he becomes a starter for Juve for the next 5-10 years, amazing. For now, just keep him there ready to prove what he has. Maybe coming off the bench and starting the occasional game. How about you, Luca? What do you think?
Just before you go, Luca, it's Spezia, guys.
Spezia, I was going to say
Spezia first.
So
I was thinking Salernitana.
Yeah, I'll keep it simple. Okay. He's young, he's talented, he's got the hustle. There's a reason someone like Max Allegri even trusts him to get any time on the field. And I think we've all seen it. If you're watching the game, you saw the change of creativity, fluidity when he came in. Is he going to make mistakes? Yeah, kid's like 19 or 20. I don't know. He definitely barely has pubic hair on his face or anywhere else. So the reality is he's not going to get an hour every weekend. Maybe against Spezia, you'll get more minutes. But hey, am I going to start demanding for him to start? Maybe not. Maybe he's not what we need. We need maybe less mistakes. It all depends on the coach's perspective. And as much as I want to disagree with Max Allegri, he is the coach. He has the final decision. So whatever he thinks is best, go for it. But I'm glad we have someone with such talent on our squad. He's available to the U23s and to the first team. So I look forward to seeing him grow. It was exciting last season, and it's even more exciting this season. And yeah, those are my thoughts.
Nick, did you want to go with the Allegri question, or do you want to go the other question? I don't know.
I mean, while we're on the topic, there is one question from Steven Savo. Question for the handsome Luca.
That's not good when I know the guy.
Yeah, that's why we have to add it in.
Shit. What is Steven?
Question for the handsome Luca.
Oh.
Who would be your ideal replacement for Allegri? So I don't know if you're like on the Allegri out train already.
Done.
I don't know.
I already have an answer for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Diz Zerbi is the only guy I would take right now. Many people overlook his ability and what he did in Serie A, and he's available right now too. So it's like, pay the man, get him in. I mean, shit, I think he would be perfect, and that's my answer. Nothing more to it.
Right off the hop. He's still with Shakhtar, or is he? Did he get?
I think he got released. I
You got
don't
let
know.
go, huh?
No, I don't think it was let go because I think of what was it because of the whole dispute in the
Oh yes,
in the
yes,
East. Like
yes.
I think
Yes.
they're just like they stopped like soccer completely. So
Yeah.
I believe because I remember there was a whole story of him coming back to Italy. They were like trying to rush him out, and I just think he's a free agent because of that. No.
Fair enough.
Definitely wouldn't be a bad choice. That's the problem. It's like who would come in? Personally,
What do you want?
I've been saying this for a while. Pirlo should have never been fired. Comes in for a season, he had good results. He wins the Supercoppa and Coppa Italia, and he gets fired. You could say the same thing about Sarri, but there was more problems in the dressing room. And then this other coach comes in, wins nothing, and keeps his job. So I just have a problem with the way Sarri and Pirlo were treated after successful seasons versus the way Allegri kept his job after an unsuccessful season. It's as simple as that. If you're going to fire two guys and then perform worse and keep your coach, you need something better the season after. Again, we're 2 games in, and I can't get my blood boiled. And there's a chance this season is a fantastic season and everything. And it has to be. It really has to be because he has the guys he wants. These are Allegri's players now. It's not like last year where it was Pirlo's players. It's not like Pirlo's season where it was Sarri's players. These are Allegri's players. He needs the result. You need better points. You need to win at least one trophy, whether it's Coppa Italia or even Serie A, and you need to win a couple of rounds in the Champions League. Even if it means just winning one round, because apparently we're cursed in the round of 16. So we'll see. And actually, about that, there's a question from
there you go. Perfect segue, Nick. I like how you set it up. Keep your blood boiling. Me and Johnny are gonna love it, but great setup on that transition. So moving along, guys. Our boys Pizza Calcio ask the Juventini on the pod tonight. What would you consider a successful season for Juve in Champions League? We all obviously know tomorrow is the draws for Champions League. I believe I saw Juve in part 2, if I'm not mistaken. Listen, Nick shared his points, and I think many can agree with Juve's early exits of UCL. Maybe if Luca, you want to go first on this one, what's considered a success? Granted, winning it is obviously a dream, but where would you say is a reasonable target is with this squad, and where's a quote unquote success rather than a failure in the UCL for Juve?
Truthfully, the minute we really got out of that Scudetto race 2 seasons ago, the reality of a Juventus fan at that point is that, okay, let's return to that and then worry about the Champions League, because the Champions League was a dream after countless seasons of Serie A dominance. That's like, as much as I want the Champions League, I think the reality is win the league again, get your base back before you start even dreaming of European glory, because if you can't do one, damn, you sure as hell can't do the other. Maybe a Prem team can do that, not us. I'd be over the moon if it happens. But in my eyes, all I really demand in the Champions League this year, yes, try to make it out of the round of 16, but do so with some sort of pride, or at least a little bit more fight. The way we went out last season was absolutely ridiculous, and there was no pride in it whatsoever. The season before that, at least I could say, shit, it was by 1 goal. There was a bit of a fight. At least there was more excitement. There was more entertainment to it. I could be somewhat proud. There was more dramatic calls, and I could say, hey, shit, the ref did this. I could blame it on other stuff. Last year, we just sucked. It was simple as that. I didn't have any excuses. We were shit. So I don't want to have to make that. I don't have to say that again. I want to blame it on some other factor. I don't want to say, we were shit. If we put out the fight on the field and we lose with dignity, I'm fine with that. If you're continuously expecting to win everything with perfection, you're being unrealistic. And as much as the Juventus DNA is winning is everything, it is, but you're not always going to win. That's unfortunately just the reality. So Champions League, I just want to say that we put up a good fight. If we make it out of the round of 16, get that money, I'll be happy. Next round, shit, we'll see what happens.